Another important topic from which a lot of questions are asked is motion of trains. So let us see some basics which we need to keep in mind while solving these questions. When the train is crossing a moving object, the speed of the train has to be taken as the relative speed with respect to the object. So, for considering the relative speed, we need to know whether the object is moving in opposite direction to that of the train or in the same direction as the train. An object moving in opposite direction, the relative speed of the train with respect to object will be equal to the sum of the speed of train and the speed of object. That is, the relative speed of the train will be equal to speed of train plus speed of object. And for an object moving in the same direction as that of the train, the relative speed of the train with respect to the object will be equal to speed of train minus speed of object. This is the same as we have discussed in the relative speed concept. When the objects move in same direction, then we subtract the speeds, and if they move in opposite directions, then we add the speeds. From this, we get the basic formula, that is relative speed of the trains multiplied by the time taken to cross the objects is equals to the distance covered. And this distance is the distance traveled by the train to cross that object. Now let us see more about the distance. We have to find out how much distance the train travels while crossing that object. So let us consider there is an object AB which is moving in some direction, and we have the train which is PQ. So when it just starts crossing the object, there is this point where A and Q are overlapping. And when the train has just crossed the object, so basically what is the distance traveled while crossing the object? It is the distance from Q to S. This is the total distance traveled because the engine is in the starting, so this much distance is traveled from Q to S. And how do we find out the distance Q to S? It will be equal to QR plus RS. And we know that QR is equal to the length of the object AB, which will give us AB plus RS. And RS we know is the length of the train. So the distance traveled by the train when crossing the object will be equal to the distance traveled by the engine from Q to S, that is equal to QR plus RS, which is further equal to AB, which is the length of the object, plus RS, which is the length of the train. So the total distance traveled by the train while crossing an object will be equal to the length of the object plus the length of the train. Just in case if the train is crossing a man, a tree or a pole or some point, then we consider the width of that object. And as we can see that the width of the man, tree or pole is quite negligible as compared to the train, so we do not consider the length of that object. That is, it is taken to be negligible. Now let us go through some situations which are mostly asked in questions. First one is, when a train is crossing a moving object with length in opposite direction. This means that the object is moving and it has some length. Its length is not negligible. And the object is moving in the opposite direction as to the train. So the basic formula we had was relative speed into time equal to distance. So what will be the relative speed in this case? The relative speed would be the sum of the speed of train plus the speed of the object. This is the relative speed. And let us consider there will be some time t taken to cross the object, and we had just discussed the distance crossed would be equal to the length of the train plus length of the object. So this is the formula we get for this particular situation. That is the speed of the train plus speed of object multiplied by time taken to cross the object is equals to the length of the train plus length of the object. We know this is the relative speed and this is the distance covered. Second situation is when a train is crossing a moving object with length in the same direction. That is, the object is having some length and it is moving in the same direction as that of the train. So the basic formula would always remain the same. But in this condition, what would be the relative speed? In the same direction, we know that we have to subtract the speeds. So it would be equal to the speed of train minus the speed of object multiplied by the time taken, and distance covered would be equal to the length of train plus length of object. So this will be the formula for this particular case. That is, this will be the relative speed, the speed of train minus speed of object. This will be the time taken to cross the object, and the distance covered would be equal to the length of the train plus the length of object. Third case is when a train is crossing a moving object without length in the same direction. That is, the train is crossing a moving object, but that object does not have any length. That is, that object might be a man, tree, pole, or a point, and the object is moving in the same direction as that of the train. So the basic formula here also remains the same. That is, relative speed multiplied by time is equals to distance. Now we have to find out what would be the relative speed here. As they are moving in the same direction, we know that the relative speed will be speed of train minus speed of object. And time, we say t, and the distance will be equal to the length of train only, as length of object is negligible. So L of object is 0. We have considered this. So this is the formula for this particular case. Speed of train minus speed of object multiplied by time taken equal to the length of train. Our fourth condition is when a train is crossing a moving object without length in opposite direction. That is, the object is moving but it does not have any length and it is moving in opposite direction as that of the train. So the basic formula would always remain the same, and it is relative speed multiplied by time is equals to distance. Now, what would be the relative speed here? As they are moving in opposite direction, the speeds would get added, that is, speed of train plus speed of object multiplied by time t will be equal to the distance, that is, length of the train, as length of the object is negligible. We have given the object is without length. So this will be the formula for this particular case. Our fifth condition is when a train is crossing a stationary object with length. That is, the train is crossing an object but the object is not moving, which means it is stationary, and the object is having some length. So the basic formula we all know is relative speed multiplied by time is equals to distance. Now, as the object is stationary, so relative speed with respect to that object would just be the speed of the train. So speed of the train multiplied by the time taken will be equal to the distance, that is the length of train plus the length of object, as the object is with length. The speed here is just the speed of train as the object is stationary and it does not have any speed of its own. Therefore, the overall speed is just the speed of the train. So this is the basic formula for this particular case. The next case we have is when a train is crossing a stationary object without length. That is, the object is not moving, but the object does not even have a length. So, basic formula altogether same. Relative speed multiplied by time will be equal to distance. Now, what would be the speed? As the object is stationary, it would be the speed of train only. So, speed of train multiplied by the time taken is equals to the length of train as the object is without length. So, this is just the basic formula. Speed into time is equals to length or the distance traveled. So, this is the formula for this particular case. Speed of train multiplied by time equal to the length of the train. Now let us do some examples on this concept. Two trains 137 meter and 163 meters in length are running towards each other on parallel lines. One at the rate of 42 kilometers per hour and another at 48 kilometers per hour. In what time will they be clear of each other from the moment they meet? We are given the length of the trains, and as it is given that they are running towards each other, which means they are running in opposite direction. In that way only they can move towards each other. Now the rate, that is the speeds of the train, is also given. And we have to find out how much time they will take in clearing out each other, that is, how much time will be spent while they cross each other. Now we know the basic formula is relative speed multiplied by time is equals to distance. And in this question we have to find out time. So time will be equal to distance divided by the relative speed. So we have to find out two things, that is the relative speed and the distance, to find out the time. Now what would be the relative speed of the trains? As they are moving in opposite direction, it would be the sum of the individual speeds of the trains, that is 42 plus 48 kilometers per hour, which will be equal to 90 kilometers per hour. So this is the relative speed, and we have to find out the distance, and distance we know is equal to the sum of the lengths of the object and the train. In this case the object is also a train, so the length is 137 meters plus 163 meters, which will be equal to 300 meters. Now we have to see one more thing, that the distance we have is in meters and the speed we have is in kilometers per hour, and we have to find out the time for which we need to convert either one of the units into the other. That is, either we convert this meter into kilometers or this kilometer per hour into meter per second. So let us convert the relative speed into meter per second. This will be 90 multiplied by 5 by 18, which is equal to 25 meter per second. So this is the relative speed in meter per second. So relative speed is equals to 25 meter per second and distance is 300 meter. And we have to find out time. So time will be equal to distance. Distance is 300 divided by the speed is 25 seconds, which on dividing we get 12 seconds as the answer. So the trains will take 12 seconds to cross each other. Let us do another question. A train 110 meter in length travels at 60 kilometers per hour. How much time does the train take in passing a man walking at 6 kilometers per hour against the train? In this case, we are given the length of the train and the speed of the train, and the speed of the object, which in this case is a man. Now we know that the length of the man would be taken as negligible. And we have to find the time taken by the train to cross the man. So this is the case of the train crossing a moving object of negligible length. And we are also given that the man is walking against the train, that is, they are moving in opposite directions. So again, the formula will be time equal to the distance divided by speed. And we have to find out the relative speed and the distance. So what would be the relative speed in this case? As they are moving against each other, that is in opposite direction, the relative speed will be the sum of the individual speeds. That is 60 plus 6 kilometers per hour, which will give us 66 kilometers per hour. And what would be the distance? It will be equal to the length of the train, as the length of the object is negligible. So it will be equal to 110 meters. Again, we have to convert either one of the units. So converting the relative speed, this will be equal to 66 into 5 by 18. We can take it as it is and cut the numbers in the final step as well. So this will be in meter per second. This is the relative speed in meter per second. So the time will be equal to distance, that is 110, upon the relative speed, that is 66 multiplied by 5 by 18, and the 18 will go in the numerator. So this is what we get. And we'll cut it on the table of 11, that 11 6 is 66 and 11 10s are 110, 5 2s are 10, 6 3s are 18. So the answer will be 3 2s are 6 seconds. So the train will take 6 seconds to pass the man walking at 6 kilometers per hour. Now one more thing that I want to add is, we have converted the speed here, not the distance, into kilometer. So that is because the time is very short, that is, the time is in seconds only. That is why we have converted the speed into meter per second, not the distance into kilometers. In that way the answer would come into hours and it would be difficult for calculating it into seconds. That's all for today. Thank you.